Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host and my guest is Doug Davis. Doug Davis is an architect right here in the city of Oakland. And when we went to break, I was about to ask him about the Golden State Mutual building down in Los Angeles area where he did some work on a building that was originally designed by Paul Williams, a noted architect. So Doug, tell us, how did you get involved in that?
Well, it was part of the South Central Los Angeles Regional Center project. The site that they bought literally had this building on it. And the story of the company is fascinating. It was founded back in the 20s by a Texan guy who was in the insurance industry that got run out of town, literally, because he tried to organize a voter drive. He settled in Los Angeles and discovered there was an underserved market of African Americans and other people of color that didn't have life insurance. And he solved that market, and 30 years later, he was building this building. And the thing that was kind of unique about it is there was so much history in this one building. The Golden State Mutual Life Insurance Company fell into receivership, and the state took it over. And basically, our clients were taking the building back, basically.
And if I remember correctly, that originally was founded by Hudson. Was it Hudson?
Nickerson was one, and then Hudson. There's an interesting rivalry between two to three people started the thing, which I don't want to reignite or get into.
No, don't do that.
But I'll simply say that there was a big part of history that had to be preserved, and I really felt in that moment that all of us felt this thing was bigger than all of us, in terms of history that had to be done. We built a monument to Paul Revere Williams that included basically a big bas relief of him as well as some panels that tell a story. And getting that story right was just so critically important to us. And we restored the building to the way it looked at in 1947. You want to just go back to that moment of time and say, like, hey, this is what happened, this is history that needs to be preserved and kept, and we hopefully preserved it for the next several generations.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, PG&E.
Yes.
Let's talk for a moment about the PG&E project up in Auburn. How did that happen? I know it certainly happened long after I retired from PG&E.
It happened because, long story short, we got connected with somebody from PG&E that felt that the current set of designers were not listening to them. And we said, okay, what do you need? And it turned into a small project and turned into a major project, and we ultimately wound up doing the whole new playbook on how PG&E does its service centers. And as you know, Bob, if you think of utility, it has a massive amount of infrastructure.
Utilities I used to work for.
There you go. But it has a massive amount of infrastructure which has to be maintained behind the scenes, from everything from the engineers, the fleets, and these things maintained it. And they realized that, after 30, 40 years, nobody had updated how they worked. And this service center was an opportunity to really define PG&E's new working environment.
Now, you are the treasurer of the 100 Black Men of the Bay Area.
Yes.
How's it feel being the treasurer? That means you deal with the money.
I think they call it the CFO, but also
that's right. That's the new title.
It's the new title.
Everybody gets CFO now.
But I'll say this. I mean, the reason why I joined the 100 is if we're African Americans and we're lucky enough to be doing what we're doing, I got to a certain point in my life where I felt that, okay, you know what? We have to pay it forward somehow. And I joined the 100 originally because I wanted to do youth mentoring. And I'm not naive enough to think that you can save the entire world, but we can all touch 1 or 2 or 3 lives around us. And I spent very much the first part of my time in the 100 doing that. And later on, as my business took off, I had less time for that. But I was good at doing the numbers, keeping the books, and I continued the legacy of the prior CFO, who I think who left us his duties unexpectedly. But we want to continue on our work, and we want to make sure that we are reliable, investment basically for a lot of our donors, and we have 2 great presidents have done some awesome work over the last few years, and we're really increasing the amount of corporate sponsorships we get, and we just want to make sure the money's responsibly handled.
The 100 Black men are involved in a lot of projects. Can you think of some that are of particular interest to you?
I think the biggest one which I'm rooting for is the OK program, which basically uses
our kids.
Our kids, I mean, to me, that's the most important thing. It's all about our kids. we lose a lot of people who could be doing what we're doing, Bob, because they didn't have that path in life, or nobody gave them the right direction at the right time. And I think, to me, it is important that we basically have those people and those resources there to make sure that people that want to go that path can, you know.
The influence that men such as Doug Davis can have upon our young people is so important. Unfortunately, we got to go to break, but when we come back, we want to talk a little bit more about the 100 Black Men and Doug Davis's role in the 100 Black Men. So don't touch that remote. We will be right back with All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris, and my host is Doug Davis, an architect right here in the city of Oakland.